If you're doing lead generation for your business and you notice that reply rates are very low or people are not interested in your messages, well, there's actually a pretty good reason for that. And it's not the list, it's not copy, it's not even deliverability. But your bad messaging is simply not relevant in the moment the prospect receives it. There's actually a genius way to solve this for good and get insane results for your own lead generation techniques. And it involves something that nobody's really using and is getting crazy results for me and my own team, which is Google News. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 ways in which I'm leveraging news to skyrocket my outreach and how to build a fully automated outbound machine using Clay, AI, and Google News to book more calls, more deals, and actually get crazy money in the next month. And really quickly, before I show you that, just a couple of words about myself. I'm the most expensive Clay expert. I built flows and lead generation strategies from scale-ups to multinational companies, and I'm running the biggest Clay operator community in the world. So alright, let's get into it. So depending on where you usually consume your news, there's a chance you don't even know that Google News exists, but let me show you why it's an incredible platform and why it allows you to scrape the best data on the internet to create a super relevant outreach. First of all, as far as I know, there are not many news platforms where you can actually input keywords and really personalize your own research based on your interest and what you're looking for. And we are going to leverage AI in a minute, but let me show you first how actually Google News works. As you can see, there are any kind of news, but for example, let's say you want to actually target a funded startup. You can write something like startup raise seed money, and voila, magically you see that you get day by day Sequoia leads 10 million seed round. AI data collection startup Sapien raised 10 millions. UK-based health tech startup Definition Health raises £5 million. As you can see, it's very interesting because you can really monitor the entire web day by day, minute per minute, and you can leverage all the information that are relevant to create an incredible outreach. In this case, of course, if you are a lead generation agency, it's actually pretty interesting to get at scale, and we will see in a totally automated way, new startups that are raising money so that we can outreach and say something like, hey, I noticed that you were on yesterday and there was your article about the fundraising, you're talking about this, maybe we can help in actually generating leads. And this applies to any kind of news that is public, that is kind of PR related, so that people will announce it, we can capture it and use it to our own advantage. Let's make some example together. One, of course, is startups and new fundings. Another, for sure, is restaurant opening. For example, let's say you're selling POC, you're selling furniture, you're selling like a video, you're selling branding, you're selling lead generation to restaurants. In this way, you can actually get all the new restaurant opening per city, per state in the world, so that you can reach out exactly in the moment people need the kind of services because it's caught by the news. And even more interesting, you can really define your news like S-word, exact phrase, exclude words, website, date. So it's really customizable, and you can even go like city by city. So it's very powerful. Another example could be law changes. You can check like GDPR or California or privacy law changes, so you can leverage those news at your advantage. Another, again, it could be new development in city. Again, let's say you're like selling video services, maybe you want to actually record the video of the new development or the new building to actually sell it to new possible people that will actually rent your own building. As you can see, the possibilities are endless. You just have to think very hard about your niche, where to get the news, and how to leverage the news at your advantage for your own outreach. And yeah, think about it like, let's say we are even getting like M&A, merger acquisition leads, and think about like the full funnel. You are getting news, people are merging or acquiring each other, they're experiencing issues right now, and exactly in the moment that happen, maybe you're selling HR services or an HR software that help people and companies after an M&A, and you can really reach out to people saying, hey, I watched the news, maybe you have some problem, you're doing an M&A, and this is how we can work. You see why you can actually 10x or even 100x the power of your outbound, because you're really targeting people in the moment they are experiencing the problem with a solution or a possible alternative to actually solve their own problems. So let's see together how to put this into practice, how to apply AI and really create an automated playbook from 0, so getting the news, to actually 1, which is sending the relevant email to the right person at the right moment. So the way we can actually get all the data automatically is actually using an AI agent called Clay Agent inside a software called Clay, which can scrape the web, get the information from Google News, and really find the relevant data, the relevant people, and turn it into an outbound message. Let's see together how this works. So first, of course, we get the news from Google News like we have seen before. We will create an RSS feed to turn the Google News link so that we can get this automatically through Clay, which is a software where you can get all the data from. From Clay, we can actually identify from the news URL what is the company and the company URL and the company LinkedIn URL that is raising money right now. From the company, we can get if is actually our ICP, because maybe we just work with AI startups, or maybe we just work with companies and startups that are based in US. So we can qualify and disqualify these kind of startups. If qualification is okay, then we can get the people. From the people, we can get founders, CEOs, and all the relevant decision makers. And then we can actually send relevant messages at scale, or even create tasks for the SDR to actually call them. Okay, let's see this into practice, and let's go back again with the startup raise seed, so that we get, as you can see, they are there's a lot of them that you get new seed around from startup all over the world. It's pretty easy. It's enough to get the URL that you see here. You copy it, you go into GPT, and you see something like turn this URL into a RSS. Paste the URL, and GPT does its magic and turn the URL into an RSS feed. Copy it. Now we go into Clay, and into Clay we can really start from scratch. What we're gonna do is create new table. We will look for a RSS table, which is already in Clay. Pull our RSS feed, which is the one we paste the code from GPT. Continue, new blank table, and let's see what happens. Okay, cool. As you can see, we got all the data from the previous days, and what is really interesting is that this list will update automatically, and we got news, URLs, and this is the basis to actually create a fully automated news playbook. Okay, as you can see, in every RSS feed, we have the content, the link, the title, the content snippet, and I think it's really interesting. It's probably enough to actually use the content snippet, which is like the SEO description, and you see why. Endeavor is using AI to modernize manufacturing. Check out the nice slides. They raised 7 million. Then we have Sequoia leads, AI data collection startup Sapien raises 10.5 million, and we already have like enough information, like the company name, how much they raised, so that next it's enough to actually create a Clay Agent integration model. Just use the mini so you can use your own API, and say something like, please give me the URL this article is talking about. We input the column of the snippet, which is this, from Google News, and we say something like, just return the URL of the startup who raised money, and nothing else. Interesting, we can define the output by the fact that not all the time is very easy to output the right thing with GPT in general, and we can do something like only URL, save runtime rows. Okay, cool. After some tricks, I just find out that it's even better to specify it like, please give me the URL of the startup this article is talking about. Just return the URL of the startup, not the URL of the news feed. Otherwise, it was giving us even the URL of the news feed, but in this way, we're actually getting the URL of the proper startup. Like Mattia raised 10 millions, we have Mattia.io, like Sapien raised another 10 million, 10.5 millions, and we have Sapiens.io. So we are pretty confident now the URL are the correct one. Okay, now we have all the startups that raise money, and other enrichment, we have to get the people, right? So to find people, we can do find contacts, or even before the people, we can actually understand more information about these contacts, about these companies, okay, we can reach out in a more relevant way. So we can enrich the company, continue to add fields, save, run 10 rows. And in this way, from the URL, we can get all the information from LinkedIn, like the size of the company. We already have the domain, the country, and let's say we only work with, I don't know, startups in the United States or startups in San Francisco, or we only work with manufacturing startups, so we can get the industry by the description. And let's say we want to create a filter with something like checkbox. Let's call this ICP. Edit, formula, use AI. If country is US, return true, because maybe we are not interested in the others. It's working. And as you can see, the checkbox only is active if companies are from US. We can run some other of them. And if you want to run all of them, it's enough to click about the triangle here. You will see this in a moment. Okay, now we have all the information about the company. All of them are like startups that raise money. They are in the US. If only the ICP checkbox is active. And next, we want to find the context, right? So add enrichment, find contacts at company, save results in this table. Job title, we can put CEO, founder, marketing, sales, whatever you want, basically. The other input is the URL. Make sure it's the right URL, of course. Enrich company URL. Perfect. Continue to add fields, save, run 10 rows. Okay, and now we have the people. The people, we have the name, we have the title, we have the headline, which language, and many other information. The most important here, of course, it is the first name, because maybe we can send a cold email saying, hey, first name, and the full name, because with the full name, it's an input to actually find the email. You will see this in a moment. Okay, we have the full name, maybe we need the first name. So to get the first name, we can even create a formula, call it first name, edit, engine, formula, use AI, from name, just get the first name. Now you can see we get the output correct, and that's it. And guys, again, you don't have the time to go to Apollo, to go to 10 different data providers, try to put everything together. It will take forever. With Clay can do everything in just a couple of clicks. It will work, and later will be automatic. This is why I can actually outperform a team of 10 SDRs. This is why I can charge $1,000 per hour working with big companies, because it's super efficient, and this is how you can bring the outbound and B2B go-to-market system function in the future. Okay, now we have everything. Let's get the emails. So email, work email. With Clay, we can use a waterfall of providers. Always double verify it. Of course, add provider columns, save. Use AI, only run if ICP is true, because we only want to work with company in US, as you can remember. Save, run 10 rows, and as you can see, running the following columns, automatically all the data are updated, and later we can run all of them, creating a real sales machine. Okay, here we are getting the first emails. As you can see, the same is happening here. Since everything is running automatically, it's just enough to run one column, and the end result, of course, is a series of emails. Step by step, we will get to all of them. This is the startup playbook. You can apply it to any kind of other industry or other company. For example, let's say we want to do this with restaurants, new restaurant openings. It must be something that is on PR. It is public and people want to publish. For example, you are selling to new restaurants, like advertising services. Of course, they are on PR. Restaurant opening. And the process, guys, is the same. You have all the opening. You can even say opening in Miami. You get the URL. Again, you go to Chat GPT. You create another RSS feed URL. You copy it. You go into Clay. You create a new table. Again, RSS feed table. You paste it. You run it. You recreate from 0 to 1 all the enrichments so that you can go to restaurant, to the right restaurant, to people, to actually send the right message at scale. So let me take this a step further and let me show you how I would actually create super personalized messaging starting from the news that we get. And as you can see, we can go way deeper than just say, hey, first name, I noticed X. And as you can see, the list is the copy, because we have to verify first the copy, understand the list, and the messaging strategy is like the data operation we have done before on Clay. Okay, let's check first. Let's say that I want to reach out with this kind of message. Hey name, I was reading about company name on news article. Congrats for raising X dollars. Industry is such a tough space to innovate. So we are really showing to the prospect that we have made our own research and we simulate the fact that, okay, I was on, Crunchbase. I know how actually manufacturing is such a tough niche, and I even mention like how much money you just raised. If I could show you how I would scale your outbound function without hiring SDRs, like we did for HeyStudy, Sequoia backed, growing the company from pre-revenue to 1 million ARR, would you be interested in speaking? And then we just put some hard data like how often SDRs, hires, or startups go wrong, 6 months and 200K wasted. Now that we know our copywriting, actually the list is the message, so we need company name, and we have to be sure that do we have company name in our list? I think we have, because we are reached before all the information from LinkedIn, so we have company name. Let's call this company name. Not all the time it is normalized, so if it is not, there's another integration called normalize company name. So you can get rid of all the capital letters and all the strange like acronym at the end or at the beginning of the company name, so it really shows that you are actually manually writing the email. Next, we need news article. So I'm pretending I'm on, I'm reading Crunchbase and I noticed you raised X money. So news article, let's go back to Clay. And what we need, I think if we have the snippet, which is here, it's enough to do a Google search to actually get what are the articles that are talking about this. So we can do something like HeyReach, Google, from Google search. Let's just put the snippet, continue, save, run 10 rows, and let's get all of them. In this case, it's Business Insider, and we can do exactly the same. Now we have the full URL. First, enrichment, normalize URL. And this time it's not the URL of the startup, it's the URL of the news website. Normalize type must be this, link, continue, save, run 10 rows. So we are getting all of them like Business Insider, Fortune, Coindex, TechCrunch, all the news website, basically. Now we need to get the company name, because we can say, oh, I was on businessinsider.com/whatever. So it's enough to do another actually LinkedIn enrichment, enrich, company, link, continue, save, run 10 rows. As you can see, everything is enriched and we can actually use the company name. And in this case, it's called the news publisher. Next is the amount of money. How can we get the amount of money? I think it's pretty easy. Again, we should have everything on the snippet. Yeah. So it's enough to say something like GPT from snippet, just return amount of money raised. Save, run 10 rows, and let's see what happens. Okay, as you can see, the results are a bit dirty, like the amount of money raised in the seed round is 10.2 million. We just want 10 million. So we can do something like just return the numbers and the amount, such as millions or 400K. Maximum 2 words. Save, run 10 rows. As you can see, we now have like the perfect amount we can actually use in our copy. Now, industry, we want to show the prospect that, oh, we are really trying to innovate the manufacturing industry, AI industry, sales tech industry, whatever. How can we get this kind of information? Well, we enrich the company before, so we have the description of the company. So it's enough to create a new GPT enrichment, say something like, based on description, what's the industry of this startup? Just return 2 words, maximum. Save, run 10 rows, let's see what happens. Fintech, human, digital health, logistics, social networking, quick commerce, hospitality technology, software integration. Next, industry, company name, news article. I think we have all of them. We just to put like your case study and the venture capital that backed the company that you worked for. And we are ready to send. First name, but we already have like the first name before first name. And let's put all the pieces together and let's write together like the actual copy. So we can go here, get the copy, go to Clay, actions, draft email. As you can see, we can bring the input from our table. This is why the copy is the list. So hey, and if you have made like our homework before, now writing the copy is pretty easy. Hey, First name, I was reading about company name on news publisher. Congrats for raising startup amount response. Industry. It's such a tough space to innovate. If I could blah blah blah, and out of them MS. Save, run 10 rows. This is why you can do the work of like 10 SDRs in one. Because now Clay is actually automatically getting all the data that we put before in our copy. Hey, Satya was reading about Endeavor on Business Insider. Congrats for raising 7 million. Technology solutions is such a tough space to innovate. Okay, maybe technology solutions is the only like variable that is not perfect, but we can refine it. Just to make an example, if I could show you blah blah blah, thanks Michael. But as you can see, the results are pretty good, and now we are ready to scale our copy because we have the draft, we have the body, we have the subject line. It's enough to actually connect our smart lead, add lead to campaign, and we can get automatically all the new drafting so that we can actually send our messaging scale into a new campaign from email to actually the new copy. And in this way, we can outreach all the people in a relevant way, in a relevant moment, thanks to our automation. You can see how powerful this can actually be. If you can really master this for yourself, for your clients, for your business, you probably don't even need to look for leads anymore. Everything is automated, it is working, and is super personalized, and in the right moment, the startup, the client, the company is experiencing the problem, and you're actually coming up with a nice solution. So I showed you how to get the data and how to write messages in a super relevant way, but I want to leave you with 3 ways I'm actually leveraging news, the 3 definitions of the news you can leverage for your own lead generation. Let's jump into it. The 3 types of news are like periodic, recurring news, and once in a lifetime news. The one that you've seen before are like the recurring news, the one that you get like daily or every minute or every day. Let's start with the periodic. Periodic news are like they happen like 1 to 3 times per year. And you have to create a playbook for those because you can leverage a particular moment of the year when you know your prospect is mostly aware of a very specific topic. And outbound is an awareness game. It's the game of getting the prospect, reading the prospect mind, and actually getting exactly their attention, solving exactly the problem is solving right now. This is why people will reply to your outbound, because you're hitting the right pain at the right moment. For example, let's say Black Friday. It's not something you can automate, but every year you have the Black Friday at November. 1 month before the Black Friday or 15 days before the Black Friday, everybody's thinking about that. If you can suggest something they are trying to do or trying to solve in the Black Friday area, they will be super aware and interested in talking about you. What you can do, there are a lot of things. So first of all, you're selling to e-commerce, is map all the e-commerce, is get all the people. And now what they suggest is like 1 month before, 7 days before, 15 days before, outreach all your TAM very, very quickly, test fast, different offers, different value propositions, different lead magnet, so that you can understand what is working. If you find a good one, just scale it and get all the people that are aware right now. Black Friday is just an example, right? For example, Christmas. Christmas is an amazing period because all the restaurants are getting super busy. So if you're selling like an HR solution, software, services, whatever, and you reach out to restaurants saying something like, hey, I have some chefs for you or whatever you're looking for, they are super aware because they are hiring right now. And you can say something like, hey, are you struggling with hirings for Christmas celebrations? Of course they are. You will get a lot of interesting replies. Q3 is another example. Q3 is the quarter where most people are on a holiday. They're getting a lot of OOO. So if you have some unique way to generate leads, people are really interested because it's very tough to hit quota in Q3. So be aware of that. Study hard and in depth your niche, and there's full of these moments. Some of them happen once per year. Some of them happen twice or 3 times. Map as many as you can, because you can really outreach your target in a super relevant and sometimes automated way. Recurring news, actually this is the only one you can really automate. The other is just like prepare for it and outreach. Recurring news is the example that we have made before, like it happens hopefully daily or every hour or every minute is the perfect for the automatic playbook. And the playbook is this: Google News, RSS feed, Clay, company, people. people smart lead, exactly the process that we have seen before, and can be applied for many businesses. But most people are not aware you can do this, and most people don't actually do the right research to get what is the right news to leverage. I will make an example, cybersecurity. Of course, at the beginning, maybe you probably don't understand, okay, what should I do with cybersecurity? And it's very tough to sell cybersecurity, right? The fact is, let's say that you can get a scale the breaches that are happening in a given area so that you can reach out to all the other companies and say, hey, you know that company in your area actually got a very serious cybersecurity attack. Maybe you need our software, maybe you need our services. And this way, especially in a market where everybody is not really aware about the problem, if it's happening next to him, well, they will pay attention and you will get very good results. Third is like once in a lifetime news, and this is why you actually have to keep up to date with your market. Maybe it's not once in a lifetime, but it's rare, but when it happens, it's crazy. This is probably the best one, even if it's very rare. It's totally unpredictable, and often is like a change in legislation or in a law. For example, let's say that tomorrow there's like a new law about privacy data, such as the GDPR in Europe, and a new law come out with something like, okay, by the 15th of next month, every company in this industry must be regulated and must have this feature. And you're lucky enough that you're selling that feature. Now you have an artificial, real scarcity hook for which using outbound and really leverage this to actually create a crazy amount of outbound with crazy efficiency because people and companies are really worried not to be compliant with the law. And you can use it to your advantage. And again, the process is the same, map everything, get the people, test different offers, test different lead magnet, and most of all, make really clear that there's an artificial date. So you have to get the solution before this or you will get into trouble. This is why you need this right now. The why now is very powerful. Now, what I show you in this video is actually super valuable and I hope you will take action and put it into practice. Let me know your results and I will be the first to actually publish them on my LinkedIn and on the community section of my YouTube channel. Now, if you want to keep up with everything about clay operating and be in the cutting edge of outbound sales, check the link in the description. I prepared some very interesting materials to actually help you to walk your clay learning journey, monetize your clay expertise, or apply it to your own business. But if you just want to go ahead and watch a full tutorial on how to actually use clay and scale it without credits, just click here. And click here if you want to see how many of my students are actually booking dozens of sales calls leveraging Reddit and AI. Thank you so much and see you in the next one.